It's time to do a speed test comparison between the Realme 9 4G versus the Oppo F21 Pro and the Oppo F21 Pro as well as the Realme 9 4G. Both phones is powered by Snapdragon 680 SOC. Both phones also has 8GB of RAM. Both phones also has a triple cameras on the back. We have a 64 megapixel main camera, a 2 megapixel depth sensor and a microscopic lens on the F21 Pro, while on the Realme 9 4G we have 108 megapixel main camera with 8 megapixel ultra wide. Also we have a 2 megapixel macro, and the back of the Realme 9 is made up of plastic, while on the Oppo F21 Pro, especially in this orange color, we have a leather type finish, and the frame on both phones is made up of plastic, and the frame of the Oppo F21 Pro is completely flat, and you can see, which gives a more premium feel over the Realme 9 4G. And both phones also has a headphone jack on the bottom, but we have single speaker on both phones. So in this video I'm gonna show you how is the Realme 9 4G is gonna stack up against the Oppo F21 Pro, and the specification of both phones is very similar, so very interesting to see who is going to be the fastest one. So without any wasting time, let's get right into it. Now let's quickly boot both of these phones up at the same time. Here we go. And the logo is came up first. At the same time on both phones is running on Android 12. We have ColorOS version 12 versus Realme UI version 3. Let's see who is faster. Snapdragon 680 on both phones with 8GB of RAM, and the Oppo F21 Pro is a tiny bit more faster, and you can see as compared to the Realme 9 4G, about half a second difference there between these two devices when it comes to booting up. Now let's talk about the displays between these two devices. On the Realme 9 4G we have 6.4-inch Full HD Plus Super AMOLED display with 90Hz refresh rate, while on the Oppo we have 6.4-inch Full HD Plus AMOLED display with 90Hz refresh rate as well. Both phones also has a punch hole on the left hand side, and the bottom chain, I would say it is more bigger on the Oppo F21 Pro. So now let's see apps opening speed. So everything is closed up in the background, no application is running in the background. Phone dialer, that is very similar. So next on the list is the settings, very similar. So now let's go to the display, and both phones has a 90Hz refresh rate, and you can see we also have auto option on the Realme 9 4G, which is not really good, so I prefer all the time 90Hz mode. So now check out some more application. Now let's start off with the Amazon shopping with same Wi-Fi network, Snapdragon 680, little more faster on the Realme 9 4G. Let's see the scrolling, that is feels very similar on both phones. So now let's open this, very similar again. Scrolling wise both phones is performing very similar. So now I'll check out some games application. Now let's see Candy Crush Saga, and you can see very similar on both phones. Both phones also has a single speaker, so let me show you the speaker first on the Oppo. And here is the Realme 9 4G looks like, and I would say on the speaker it is more better on the Realme 9 4G, has a more bass. Instagram faster on the Realme 9 4G. Let's see pin out, very similar on both phones. Let's see Snapchat, faster on the Realme 9 4G. Let's see Spotify, very similar. Now let's see Subway Surfer, and Subway Surfer is a tiny bit more faster on the Realme 9 4G, very small difference. Now let's opening up the Pubg Mobile, heavy game. Both phones has a Snapdragon 680 SOC with 8GB of RAM, and looks like the Realme 9 4G is a tiny bit more faster. Yes it is, but we have a millisecond difference. Now let's see Temper Run 2. and Realme 9 4G is a tiny bit more faster. So now let's opening up the tutor, and that is very similar. Zedge, and that is very similar. Let's see the scrolling, very smooth on both phones. 90Hz is working really good. So last I'm launching the cameras on both phones, default camera application. Let's see who is going to be the fastest one, and little more faster on the Oppo F21 Pro. Okay guys, now let's see internet browsing speed. I am seeing default Google Chrome on both phones, wikipedia.org, and that is faster on the Oppo F21 Pro. Let's see the scrolling, that is feels very smooth and similar on both phones. Now let's open this English, and again 90Hz is working absolutely fine. So next on the list is the vivo.com, and that is very similar. Let's see the scrolling, very smooth on both phones. So now let's see RAM management, and both phones has a 8GB of RAM. Let's see who is performed good in the RAM management. Phone dialer, no refresh. Settings, Amazon shopping, that is refresh on both phones. Let's see Candy Crush Saga, refresh. Instagram, let's see pin out, refresh. Let's see Snapchat. Spotify, that is refresh. Let's see Subway Surfer, refresh. So you can see RAM management, it is very similar and bad on both phones. Let's see Pubg Mobile, that is not refresh. So now let's see Temper and 2, same result. Opening up the tutor, Zedge, and last we're back to the internet browser where we left, and you can see. And guys, what I have to say regarding the app's opening speed, as you can see that both phones is performing very similar in system-based application as well as in the game app loading time, which is obvious because we have the same SOC on both phones. In terms of the RAM wise, both phones also performing very similar in the RAM management. Also on the Realme 9 we have 5000 mAh battery size with a 33W fast charging, while on the Oppo we have 4500 mAh battery size with a 33W fast charging as well. So that's about it, and thank you so much for watching this speed test comparison between the Realme 9 4G versus the Oppo F21 Pro. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe to my channel for daily tech videos and follow me on Instagram and Twitter as well, and I will see you in my next video. Peace out.